What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chromecast. My name's Joe, joined here today by Robbie.
Yeah, I was ready this time. What's
Gabriel,
up, guys? Hello.
Andy Cam.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I was hoping you're going to wear your golf hat so that we can talk about golf. We can
He's a golfer
just have a way to incorporate golf.
He just wears golf attire.
Yeah, he's just a golf. He's a golf guy now.
He wears golf attire more often than I do.
I know, and I love it.
Now, see, normally I like that Justin Howard. Justin Howard.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Justins.
Yeah,
mentality of wear golf attire to work every day,
just in case.
And then nobody knows whether or not you're at work or at golf.
Did you play golf today, or did you go to work today?
But you're always ready too.
Yeah,
hey, you want to go hit? Yeah, absolutely, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You guys want to go play? Yeah. That normally works. Right now, does not work. I don't.
It is.
This guy don't play golf when it feels like 100 degrees outside. Not outside. Not when we have a perfectly good simulator.
Yeah. And it's across the country. I mean, it's not just here, but it is particularly hot for us, and the humidity in Kentucky, especially where we are, kind of central Kentucky, the humidity is pretty rough, but it's also just very, very hot.
Yeah, it's actually luckily during the day the humidity has kind of been rolling out.
It's gotten much better.
We've had times where it's this hot and it's still 70-80% humidity, and people in Florida know all about this.
Yeah, I went and mowed the other night when I got home, and by the time I started mowing around 6:30, it wasn't. I mean, it was hot, but it wasn't miserable. Yeah, like it was this weekend.
So once it cools off, the humidity rolls back in the evenings. Yeah. And then
we did played in a scramble on Sunday. We should have I was driving back down to my brother's, and I was like, we didn't get a single photo, like a group photo. All four of us went and played, and we didn't get a photo.
That's a new golf course.
Good job.
It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like we were a little not out of sorts,
just a little discombobulated.
Definitely need to document next time, just in case.
Yeah,
hole 16.
Well, we had one hole. We played a pretty good round of golf, and had one hole.
4 under going into that hole.
Yeah, 4 under going in there,
which,
and
to be fair, would not have won us anything.
Yeah,
no.
I still would like to see the winner's scorecard just to see where they.
Yeah.
Anywho, but yeah, we at least got to play around on Sunday, and it was still warm, but it wasn't as bad as it's been this week.
It was toasty, but it was nice.
Luckily, I'm playing in a biggest disc golf tournament of my life next week, and it's going to be 103 degrees.
It's going to be
where is it again?
Evansville. So Evansville, Indiana, southern Indiana, and
so it's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, it's going to be toasty.
So this is Worlds, right?
Yeah, this is the
in Evansville. That's great.
Amateur World Championship. Yeah, it's kind of weird but that was the whole reason I really wanted to qualify and get my points.
Right.
Was because it was so close to home, and it was a couple of courses that I'd played before. So it's like, this is an awesome opportunity.
Joe was in the ground all last year getting qualified.
Yeah, last year it felt like work a little bit. It was every weekend.
How does that work for next year? Do you have to re-qualify all over again, or
every year you have to?
So your
performance
points in this tournament has no bearing.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, that should make it. Well, I guess if it's world
just bragging rights,
it's not like a major in golf.
There are a few top players. I mean, the field is stacked. I mean, these are the best players in the world, and amateurs, and there's one guy from Indianapolis that's the highest rated player, and I've seen him play a couple times, and he's probably already playing some open, so professional tournaments, just not taking cash yet.
Getting his way in there,
because you get your points from the year before to play the World Championship this year. So he could have been playing some open professional tournaments already, and there's some very good players.
He's all right.
So I think if I play well, I can be competitive. So that's what I'm gonna go do. But it's gonna be
broken up into groups of any sort?
Yeah, they'll do like Pool A and Pool B, and then spread out across all the courses. So Pool A will play all on one course one morning. It's a shotgun start.
But I mean,
so
like divisions as far as the scoring.
It's just one division. So advanced.
So you're going to be playing against that.
Yeah. One division. So it's MA1, which is the advanced division. So the highest division you can play as an amateur. And but we're just getting split up into two pools so they can spread us out on the courses. I will likely be in the second pool, but I'll still be playing with some very talented folks. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be hot though. So
yeah. Drink a lot of water.
Yeah, you all will be podcasting without me next week, so that'll be. It's always like those episodes. You guys do your thing.
Be interesting.
Yeah. So
are you going to join us at the table, Andrew?
Oh my gosh, you should. That would be fun.
Ooh, I think I could do that.
Andrew's the new host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
What's up, there?
What's up? Yeah, full blown.
What's up?
Full blown Peter McKinnon intro. I would love that. So yeah, it's warm here, but we've been playing some simulator golf, getting excited about maybe trying to create some golf content. We don't want to go too far down the golf rabbit hole because we know you all are here to hear about Chromebooks and ChromeOS, but just have some ideas rolling around, and Gabriel has a project he's been working on. Tell everyone about it, Gabriel. Tell the audience, the studio audience.
Yeah.
The cameras.
As you may or may not know, I like to cook. I especially like to grill and smoke things, and my wife.
And he's quite good at it.
Yes, my beautiful, wonderful wife of 4 years today.
Happy anniversary.
Oh yeah,
thank you.
Congrats, brother.
Got me my anniversary Father's Day gift, a new Traeger. So
McTraeger
is born. So yeah, I don't know. I had posted a couple of reels of some stuff I was cooking, and like they just kind of like I know literally this much about Instagram. So when one of my reels had like 5,000 views, I'm like, I'm famous.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea how any of that works. So,
yeah.
But I mean, it's still like people like, and I was like, man, this will be cool because I follow a lot of really, Meat Church and.
Meat Church.
Yeah, Meat Church. Oh, Meat Church is awesome.
That's an awesome
over
name.
the Fire Barbecue. A lot of cool guys on Instagram, and I just like the content that they put out, and it's super well done. But the way they do it feels relatively simple compared to kind of what we do here.
Sure.
Because you guys put a lot into production. I'm not saying those guys don't put a lot into production. There is, but I'm just looking at it and thinking, man, I would love to just do this. Like, it's something that I enjoy doing, and it's something I'm doing anyway. Why not set up some cameras and capture it? And so we started SmokeInsider.com. It's kind of live. There's a website there if you want to go look at it. But we're on.
When I scrolled through it, I was like, he's already written a bunch of. Oh wait, no. These
My wife goes. What language is this in? And I was like, it's not. It's web language.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't even know. It's for me. It's more of a place to. Kind of share recipes and people to share stuff because I worked for a barbecue company for a while, and they were is it Best in the West? I think is what they so they
Best of the West.
No, it's Best in the West. So it's in Sparks. They're one of the only companies to have ever won it back-to-back years. And their barbecue is really, really good. But I just
and he had the best steak seasoning I've ever tasted.
Yeah,
in my life.
He had his own proprietary steak seasoning. He actually, if you've ever bought Boomer's barbecue sauce in Kroger or at a grocery store, that is his barbecue sauce.
Like Boomer Esiason, right?
Yes. So he has his own signature barbecue sauce. He sold that, I guess, the recipe to a company partnered with Boomer Esiason. They made Boomer's barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
As part of the contract, he retained rights to. So every month, one of his guys would drive up to Cincinnati to the factory and get 5-gallon a van full of 5-gallon buckets of this barbecue sauce, and it's phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, his sauce is incredible. His rub's really good, and his steak seasoning is very unique, but it's really good too. So I'm anxious to learn more about doing this because I have a guy I go to church with who he has a trailer now. He has a food truck and everything, and he's from Texas, so he knows his stuff, and I'm learning so much about it. So for me it's a passion project plus kind of a whole new learning experience for me. So we're looking through the freezer every day thinking, what can we put on the smoker? Because people smoke like cream cheese and like crazy stuff, like try it.
Put them on TikTok.
On the TikTok.
Might blow up.
I have to get a Tic Tac.
You have to get a Tic Tac.
I ain't got one.
You need to be doing reels. You need to be doing
Smoke
TikTok
Insider. I mean, just repost it.
So.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. And I mean, if anything, it's just a nice place to like archive your process and your kind of journey of getting this new smoker and learning it, and learning with others and sharing what you're learning with others. Like that's what Chrome Unboxed was and still is.
And that's and I was talking to Michael about it the other day, Michael Perigo, and I just, to me, this gives me the same kind of feels that we have when we talk about what we do here. It's just, it's something I love doing, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I want to share it. Food's always been kind of an integral thing for me. I'm always, everything's kind of been built around food. I love cooking meals for people. I love cooking barbecue for these guys here at work, and that's just what little I've made on the tray.
I love eating it.
Yeah, what little I've made so far is awesome. But like this Saturday, my dad's coming down from Lexington, about an hour and a half away, and we're all getting together. And my brother's out near Hogwalla.
Out in Hogwalla.
I learned 2 new towns.
Lick Skillet.
Skillet and Hogwallow.
These are real towns.
Yeah.
I refuse to call
Kentucky.
it Waller. It's Hogwallow.
Yeah, so I volunteered to smoke some tasty meat for the Father's Day cookout this weekend, and I'm excited.
I'm gonna call this like Smokin' Shader.
SmokingShader.com.
SmokingShader.com. Go over to
Yeah.
Smokin' Shader
So
and
there
check
you
some
go.
recipes for your Traeger. McTraeger. Yeah. We realized the spelling was wrong on our
The video was okay.
the video was okay. It was the
still.
that we had. Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I'll have some merch.
Definitely
some
definitely
Mick
throw
Traeger
that in.
shirts.
I love
You
it.
need to replace the picture of you on there, like it's like a tong.
Yeah.
Tongs.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Great.
it. So yeah, go check it out. SmokingCider.com and content coming soon.
I was gonna do those ribs. Joe's gonna be gone.
oh yeah.
I'll eat,
Shucks
I'll
for
eat
you.
the ribs.
Oh,
Shit.
We got
I
it.
don't get. I don't get
We got it.
Shucks. I don't get the schmook from the
We'll
Smoking
send
Shader.
you. We'll send you pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig into some news from the week. We put out a video this week testing and kind of evaluating Cursive, Google's note-taking app. This is an app that was announced a while back in, when was it?
Well, I looked
When
back.
I put it in the article.
HPX2
August,
was-
I think. Of last
No.
year.
Yeah.
Not August. Yeah, I think it was
I don't know.
September.
Andy
of last
Cam, help
year.
us out here.
Was it? It was in conjunction with the X2, right?
If you look at the article that I talked about Cursive, I linked
Yeah.
it in there.
Yeah, I know
I
it's
think
in
it's.
there
I
somewhere.
want to say August, but I've been referring to a lot of old stuff.
like-
Anyway, it's been around for a while.
What was it?
Cursive has.
Well, it shows May, but I think that was more of 102.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's whenever they kind of more formally rolled it out.
It would
Yeah.
have been September 8th was the article.
There you go.
September.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I think they announced it in August, and
Yeah.
it rolled out in September.
Yeah.
But it was meant to be an app that was like going to debut on the HP Chromebook X211, and I thought maybe they'd figure out a way to like lock it to that device.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't. It's a PWA.
Because
so
at first we were trying to test it on other devices. And
we're just
it
trying
was
to
like,
find it.
Yeah.
And couldn't get it. And then once the HP came out, and we had the address. It's like cool. It's there. It is. And
Yeah.
so maybe it didn't install on its own, and had we not existed, and somebody would have found it and put it on the internet. But
Yeah.
had no one done that, I guess technically it wasn't like pre-installed on a bunch of devices. And so
Right.
with 102, they're like, hey, we're making this an app. I think it's pre-installed now. I think it's one that shows
I'll have
up.
to go back
I don't
and
know.
look. I'm not
I
sure.
always keep it installed, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But they announced it like to the broader Chromebook audience. Like it's not like it was new or anything, but in doing so, it seemed like maybe Chrome OS 102 probably had a few things under the hood. I've been seeing a lot of stuff for handwriting and stuff like that in the repositories. Nothing's been particularly clear. It's not
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what they did. But there's been enough activity around that stuff that it's like, okay, maybe, they waited for 102 because 102 had all the stuff in it that made Cursive better on most devices. And so, I'd kind of written it off, thinking one day maybe Cursive will be a useful thing. But for me right now, most times I try it, it's just laggy enough that it's just not workable. We were pretty harsh on it when it first came out. I feel like for good reason. And I've heard from random other people. I think Jackson has told me multiple times that on the HP X2, it had gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Probably in the last month or so. Because that tells me they've been working on some things specifically for that device at least to make it better. And maybe that stuff's now widely available. I'm not really sure, but for the most part, from most devices, it feels like a usable tool now. Like it's. And I'll do this with Cursive or whatever. I'll get it and be like, "Ooh, that's pretty good. Here, try
Yeah.
it." And you try it. And especially like Joe takes more notes, than either of us
All
combined.
of us combined.
And so, I usually hand it to him like, try taking notes, like
Yeah.
see what this is like. And I think one of the videos we did, remember we put it up against the Apple Pencil
Yeah.
and an iPad, and like it needs to be this level.
Yep.
And I would say like a Surface and a Surface Pen, but I was messing with one of those devices somebody else had the other day, and I was like, this isn't the best, and it could have just been. There could have been something going on with it at the time, but it wasn't great. It was okay. It was actually the Surface Duo 2 with the new flat Surface Pen.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet. And I started writing. I'm like, wow. Have that back. Like, that's terrible.
It's like my old Palm Pilot. Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Neat. But he seemed to like it, and it works fine for him. So I didn't want to say anything. But it felt pretty laggy, and I was just like, I guess this isn't unique to, just Chrome OS. But, we started testing it, and I started pulling every device we had with USI support, and it's in the video, but generally speaking, it feels like the majority of devices with higher end processors seem to do better with it. And so I don't know if like handwriting, like to do it without lag, just takes an exceptional amount of processing.
Isn't
power.
like really good e-ink devices aren't really good e-ink devices? Aren't they pretty pricey?
Yeah, I mean that
Maybe
remarkable
that's why.
one that I see get. I mean,
They advertise to me like crazy.
Yeah. Like
You've got a good marketing budget, apparently.
I've seen a lot of them lately.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's just.
You ever written on one of those things?
I have not.
Someone at a Best Buy somewhere.
No,
I
I've
got to
never
write
messed
on it. I was
with
like, holy
Oh, look,
crap.
they look, I mean,
It feels like a pencil.
They look
on paper.
remarkable.
Ah.
Sorry.
that was funny.
Full day.
That wasn't even a pun. That was just dead on.
That sir is accurate.
But like those devices don't have like huge overhead with processing power, so I don't know. I just feel like it's a task that maybe if you don't have the hardware and the internals specifically geared towards it, like some processing has to happen. I don't know, but that doesn't fully explain why it's so terrible on the Lenovo.
Sure.
The ThinkPad that's got the Ryzen 3000, so the Ryzen 5 3000 series. Not the fastest Chromebook in the world, but I even did it a favor. I plugged it in so it'd be full powered, and it's still laggy as all get out. So it's like, is it the screen? Is it the processor? We couldn't tell, and we kind of tried to get to a point in the video of saying it does seem like your odds are better if the processor's better,
right?
Of it being a good experience. That being said, if the processor's good enough, and things work out. When they work, it works really, really well now. And to the point that I don't think anymore used to, it'd be like, well, it's lagging. So it feels like it's lagging on everything. It's probably cursive is no good. Now it feels more like if it's lagging, it's either a problem with the processor, the screen, the pen, something like that. But I feel like we can, like cursive isn't the factor anymore.
Yeah, right.
It's cursive is the constant. Like cursive is good, and so now if there's a problem, it's somewhere else. It's either with Chrome OS or with, the screen or whatever. But interestingly enough, we were going to film, and I needed one to look bad to make my point. I should have went straight to the Lenovo because it's literally the worst. And no hate on Lenovo, but that particular device, just inking on it's awful.
I mean, we film in 30 frames a second now,
and you can clearly
and
see
you can
it.
Still just very clearly see
the
like that
frame
one
rate-
side shot. It's like
it's a good half to a quarter inch behind the pen stroke, just moving very slowly across the screen. But the CM3 detachable, which is basically the Lenovo Chromebook Duet made by Asus, it was behaving poorly too, and so I was like, okay, maybe lower end devices have trouble with this. But when we were going to try to actually record it being bad, it was super good.
Fine.
I was like, well, crap. I go fast and go slow, and didn't matter what I did. That ink was like right on the stinking pen. And I was like, well, we can't show this because maybe it's just having a good day. I don't know.
it woke up on the right side of the bed this morning.
It's learning.
Pick it up, man.
Ready to go.
No idea. So I feel a little more confused, and I think we made that point in the video.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
we
just-
don't have a firm here's what it is.
Right.
We are going to start testing the review we filmed this week of the Spin 513, which is it's not out yet, but so we'll talk about it next week. Glowing review though, just fantastic device, and it inks very well. It was the one that I first tested and I was like, whoa, why is this so good?
Yeah.
And so that got me testing it on others. But it's to the point now where cursive is this usable tool. So I could see having a tablet where it performs properly. I'm testing a tablet right now. It doesn't perform properly, and we'll talk about that, why that is in a minute. But I could see using that tablet and, being in a meeting or even, reading a book or whatever, something where you're split screening and taking notes on the right side, like on a regular basis. Like, not as a, wouldn't this be neat if this actually worked well enough to use it as a tool, but like this works well enough to use this as a tool. Like, you could have a website pulled up, in a 2/3, or what does it do? It does 3/4, 1/4, doesn't it, on tablet? Yeah. So maybe having cursive just as the 1/4 slot, and be able, over here we want to take that and jot notes over here. I could 100% see doing this, or a device in a convertible fashion. But it's like it's actually usable now.
I was sitting in a class last night and I was thinking about that. I rarely ever use a stylus, but I do like to take notes when I'm sitting in like a seminar or a meeting or something. I do, because it helps me flesh out what I'm understanding. But I was like, I had a book from Playbooks open on the left side, and I was like, man, if I could take notes side by side,
wouldn't that be neat?
It'd be awesome. So
I went and I tried that once. I think it was at church or something, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a roll. I think it was during COVID when we were doing online stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna try this. It was early cursive days actually, and I'm like, I'm gonna try. It was so terrible. Like, I just put it down. Like, forget it. I don't need to do this. But yeah, for devices like, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit here in a minute too, like the Dragonfly. It's got that rechargeable stylus on the side with that nice 13.5-inch screen. I could see getting pretty productive note-taking this way with it.
Is the Dragonfly doing the magnetic one too? Just like the X2?
Dragonfly checks all boxes. Mm-hmm. Does it have...
Yep.
Yeah, that explains why, when we'll get to this in a second, but the Gen 2 HP pen, that explains that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about USI here in a minute, but cursive in general isn't the problem anymore, which is really neat,
nice.
Because it's web based. Like, it doesn't work. We found out on any computer. I thought it's like, well, that's a PWA. Who cares?
Yeah, it's weird. So I tried to load it on a Mac, which it doesn't have touchscreen anyway. But whatever. It tries. It like says, "Hey, this isn't designed for this, but go ahead and try if you want to." It's kind of like, "Hey, you're on your own."
We need to try it on the Surface. Or a little Surface Go.
That's a good idea.
Maybe I wonder if
it might just be a
it might be pinging it saying it's not a touchscreen and turning it off.
That makes sense.
So yeah, you can totally go there.
Pen here somewhere.
If you got a web browser, you can totally go there on any device. But have you tried on your phone? It should work on your phone, right?
I mean, we have our Surface Go back. It was gone.
The new Pixel phones need to be USI compliant.
That would be dope.
I mean, if I need a stylus, I just go grab my USI pen and
what's the URL?
Just a little precision of tapping around if you're doing
cursive.apps.
I don't know.
Chrome.
Cursive.chrome.
Yeah, so this is what it says, and it did it on my phone. Cursive is designed for Chromebooks. Open Cursive on a Chromebook
have
for
a mobile
best
layout
experience, but then it says continue anyway. I don't need a quick tour.
Give me a tour.
Oh, if he signs in and it works, it'll be kind of nifty.
It's continue anyway.
Does Cursive do? Will it take your handwritten notes and transcribe them? Probably not. You didn't even know what I was saying.
I know, that's why.
But it should. Google's got that embedded in stuff
My guess,
already.
I think they're going to keep adding stuff to Cursive. It's fun toys
because that's
that we didn't really get a chance to mess.
Can't lock it.
Oh, it has a. There's a lock. There is
tap the screen.
So show the lock right there.
Yep.
Canvas lock. Okay.
And then tap that in the top right.
Click that little guy right there. Now it'll lock your canvas. Yeah, but it still doesn't work.
Still doesn't work. Yeah.
Google's like, will you
Give
lay
me your
off?
Yeah, just right. Just gonna say.
That's weird.
But yeah, I mean,
it says read only.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, it
so
knows.
It knows
you're on a phone. It's like,
you can access your notes, and
that's what it's for. Here's a couple things I would love to see them add now that I feel like they've got the main thing. The problem was, like, they launched it and they're like, here's the cool stuff it does, which is really cool. You can lasso something and move it, which is great.
A line, right?
You draw a line between things. Anytime it glows, you can enact on it. So you draw the line, it glows, you touch it, and then you can just move stuff, just create space. You can scribble stuff out. If it glows, touch it, boom, it's gone. Really cool tricks, very good stuff. I like that. But I think they need to add text annotation in some way. I know that, was it Noto?
There was one that we tested or something that
with the iPad, and it works on Chromebooks too. But as you write, it puts the text right above it. I don't love that, because then you got to go format your text. I'm like, to me, I type very quickly, there's zero purpose in doing that for me. Like for me, notes are, I'm going to take notes when it's something that I need to be able to kind of spread out some stuff on and write that bullet points and bullet lists aren't great at. And so, you know, like to me, the best note-taking app would be a thing where I can put a cursor anywhere I want in space and just type boxes of text. I think that would, because I can read it afterwards, one, and two, I can think more spatially. That's where note-taking is beneficial to me. So having text, I don't want to write and make text. Like I could type it 10 times as fast, and it's going to miss 10 times less, and like that. I don't know that there's a whole lot of room for that, but I really hope they add like more pen strokes, because it's not a drawing app. You know, they have Canvas. It's Google, right? So let's make two apps for what we could have done the same thing in. But they've got Canvas. So if you want to draw, I guess, like use Canvas, which they haven't been trumpeting Canvas that much. But again, if they'll keep pushing time into these things, like Canvas could become a really awesome tool as well. But Cursive's main thing, I would love to see, honestly, I wish they would just pair it or roll it into Google Keep. Like, let me start a new note in Google Keep and use Cursive. Like,
and that's Google Keep.
I want to make a cursive note or something.
What was the thing that they added this week, or they're adding? I think
they're finally doing text formatting.
Yeah, text formatting, but it's like,
so you can do like 3 text sizes, bold, italic. Well, they have bold, italic, I think, already now, apparently. But I mean, you have Google Docs, so you have a lot of years of knowing how to deal with all this kind of stuff. Like, let me do some of that stuff in my notes, and that would be great. And by the way, you have a great notes app. That's what Cursive is for. It's just handwritten notes. So pair them up. Like, they could be standalone apps still, but if I want to merge the two, like, I should be able to access or create a cursive note in Google Keep.
I was curious, like,
they still have the handwriting.
Yeah,
tool
I was curious if like what the interface looked like.
Just
if it was
replace
similar.
it with Cursive.
Right.
Like, put Cursive in there, and let me access my notes between the two services in the same spot. That part I don't really understand. I just wish they would have just taken that, and maybe there's something with the back end of Google Keep that prevented them from doing what they're doing with Cursive. I don't know. But, let them stay separate. Just merge them. Like, Keep, Cursive, and Canvas should all work. So they need to interoperate with one another. And part of that could be it's a slow development of this progressive web app. They're working on these things, and I'm glad we're pushing up to a year. But I'm glad they're finally going, hey, instead of adding more, pen colors and what else you got, eraser types and, stroke types and all that stuff, get the lag under control. Because without that, it's complete. It doesn't matter if it can build me a house.
You have to have the foundation there.
The first thing has to work. And so I'm glad to see. I feel like they've taken care of that, which is really cool, because I want them to have a good handwriting app. They need to have one that's first party, but they needed to do it in a progressive web app. They really did. They're pushing into that. That's what Google's about. They're about web-driven apps and services, and Cursive checks all those boxes. It just didn't work.
The thing I would like, I think I agree with you. I don't know that it necessarily has to completely annotate all of my stuff, but if it at least recognizes what I've written to where I can search it. So for example, I have all these notes here, and I have to sit, and maybe you all watching have seen my legal pads that I normally have. Those are on my desk, just full of notes, because that's that's the way I have to write things down. That's kind of the way I just gather my thoughts. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll kind of have those notes. I'll then take that and put it into a keep note, gather, in a meeting, I'll sit and jot down random notes, and then I'll gather my thoughts and then type it out and keep. Then I've got searchable document, right? But if I could just do it all in Cursive, in the meeting, I'm sitting and taking my notes, but then it's searchable. Cool. That's why I retype it all in Keep, is just to have that archive. That,
and they've clearly got the tech to do that.
Absolutely.
Already built in.
It's if it could just recognize it and then make, whenever I open up Cursive, hey, whatever meeting on that date, I just type in the date, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I could absolutely see something like that coming. Like I said, they've got to
But again, get the foundation.
They fixed the foundation. Now it's cool, we can start adding features on top of this thing now. Before it was don't add, stop adding features until you fix the actual thing it's supposed to do. So it's cool to see it moving forward.
And we've got an interview that will be coming out here soon for the podcast, and got to have a chat with with one of the product leads at Logitech who worked very closely on the LogiPen, their education pen.
Yep.
And you think about how many Chromebooks are in classrooms all over the country, and Logitech doing this awesome USI pen. Students using pens in general. Obviously, like they still need to learn how to handwrite and stuff. We need to have, as they get older, as they go into high school or college or whatever, like we need to have awesome apps and awesome tools for them to use, awesome pens to use. If not, we're teaching them all this awesome stuff they can do with their pens, but then we don't have a core app or service that does it. So it's awesome that Google's spending time on this, and I think obviously it makes sense. Like they know all this. Like they're like, yeah, duh, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, we got to fix this.
Yeah. This is why we've invested so much time in this.
Sometimes we're like, of course they know that, and then sometimes we're like, do they though?
Yeah. but do they though? But it is awesome. I mean, go check out the video. Like it's hard to film some of this stuff. We try our best to
that was a tough one, but
we try to get good B-roll to show you, like you can sit and explain what's going on, and so that's valuable. But also, I mean, we did get some good B-roll shots where you can see some of this stuff in your handwriting. I mean, as you say in the video, it's pretty quick and a lot of fast little dots and motions and stuff.
Yeah, it's very small.
And we have a couple really close shots of you sitting and writing. I mean, it looks almost like you're sitting and writing on paper, which, it needs to be that native. It needs to feel like that. Because if not, over time, and I mean, you could sit and make it work for a little bit, but over time,
you're going to go back to paper.
Yeah, you're going to be like, I need it. It has to be at least as good as this. And then, oh, by the way, like, the benefit to using that app versus this is you get these other features, right? Like you're getting an extra value on top of it than taking notes. So, but you got to have that first thing there. So, cool stuff. Yeah. Awesome to see it finally get in a spot where it's a useful tool.
Yeah,
and awesome.
So we can start talking too about as more USI pens come out, like or ones that come with a particular Chromebook, like. Cursive is solid. This one seems to feel better. This one has a better weight to it. This one, the pen tip. Specifically, my favorite one I've used, and I've been thinking about it since we did all this stuff, and we had to send the device back. But the new Spin 514, we had the pre-production model of it, which I saw somebody has a review out of that device. I'm like, how did you do that with a pre-production model?
Pretty sure our email said this is
you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this. I'm like,
Interesting.
Anywho, because it doesn't come out till July, August, something like that.
I think, yeah.
But the pen, the removable pen in that one, like the nib on the end of that pen on that screen, like it just had the right feel. Like you need a little bit of resistance. Like when you write, it doesn't feel like something rubbing across glass. It's not supposed to be super smooth, and so I mean, I like there to be a little bit of resistance there, so that it helps, especially with the way that my aggressive handwriting style slows me down a little bit. And so I'm looking forward to Cursive, because Cursive was really good on that one too. That was one of the first ones that I was like,
I want like a
good.
PhD pen. The old PhDs use one of those that's USI.
In a USI.
Pen? Yeah, it's their big rubber grip, kind of triangular shaped. We used them in the restaurant business a lot because your hand gets fatigued, so they're easier to grip. And you'd always get mad when a customer would take one because when they came out, they were like $6-7 a piece. So you had your cheap pens for customers, and then you had your PhD that you wrote with. Like if I had a stylus and used one, that's what I would want. It's something that is ergonomically or even something like that. Yeah, where it's retractable and it feels like a pen, and I just keep it in my bag. The stowable stuff is cool.
The Logi's pretty good.
Yeah, the Logi's got a good shape too.
Yeah, so and the size and kind of the weight of it is nice.
G2
We need some USI pens with a clicker, because I do this all the time.
I mean, honestly, if you're gonna throw it in your bag, to be able to retract the
get the
nib
pen
tip to keep it from getting damaged over time. It's less thing you gotta. But then that's another moving part that could break, and for no real reason.
Right. Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah. Okay. Styluses. Let's take a quick break for an ad, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. So, continuing on our discussion of styluses.
I've just started saying pens. USI pens.
USI pens. There you go.
It's better because stylus is in there. So, Universal Stylus Initiative pens.
Right. I like that. That's what I'm gonna roll with.
That's what I write because
Yeah.
I'm like I think I don't know. It should be styli, but I think that whole language is language. It's liquid,
Yes.
basically. So to act like this rule that was existent 100 years ago still needs to be done. We'd still be saying betwixt.
Betwixt.
If that was the case. I saw this great TikTok.
That's great.
So, total sidebar. It's this game show that I guess was on in just 2020. It didn't get renewed, and it seemed like total chaos. But the guy that was on the show, he was told to do what would you call what the flight attendant does, the pre-flight stuff, like the little speech they do, as Shakespeare or in a Shakespearean tone, and he nailed it. It was so funny. I'll have to pull it up. I favorited it, but he said something about the belt betwixt. It was so good.
That's
like
funny.
I can't believe he just came up with that. Anyway,
That's funny. So
yeah, betwixt doesn't work. So styli
Yeah.
is silly. It's silly
Yeah,
to
I
think
think
like it's stylus.
we're gonna roll with USI pens. I think
that's
that
why
makes,
I just go with that.
I think that makes way more sense. Speaking of, where is the
more
Logi
better.
pen? The wrapper's
I
on.
found it. It's on my desk. Or
It's on your
it's
desk.
sitting over there.
I saw the wrapper or the packaging that it came in on
Yeah.
Gabe's desk, and I didn't see the actual pen. I was
Yeah,
gonna
it is
grab
over there. I was hoping I saw something that said maybe it was 2.0, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at this point, I don't have a pen to work on my little tablet with.
Yeah, which would love to
'Cause
test
reasons.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it was so what we're getting at here is the new Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3, the smaller one, is using a new type of display and a new type of USI standard.
Yeah.
And when we got our first review unit in and
Pre-production one.
pre-production, and the pens weren't working, we were like,
Just assume,
okay, it's early,
Right.
whatever.
The digitizer isn't hooked up or
Something's not, whatever. That kind of stuff happens with these pre-production units we get. Well, then we get in, the one that we have right now that we did the most recent unboxing on, the production unit. And our Penoval, USI 702, our pen that we use for all kinds of stuff. It's our main kind of testing pen that we have around the office. Didn't work.
One of the latest USI pens on the market.
Tried the
Yeah.
HP pens. Didn't work. Tried the Lenovo pen that's in the ThinkPad. Didn't work. Had the other Acer was still here, I think, the 514 that had the removable stylus. Tried it. Nothing.
Yeah.
No stylus works. So yeah, I sent an email to our contact at Lenovo. Said, hey, look, for some reason our units the stylus isn't working.
So we thought we just might have gotten a dud. We have
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
we may or may not have another one in the office.
Anywho,
And we were like, I guess we had unboxed that one and try it.
I'm glad we
but-
didn't do that.
Yeah.
He got back to me and said, yeah, let me look into this and see what's up. So the next morning, I get an email. He said, well, it turns out it's USI 2.0.
Wait,
like-
what?
Which was in the press release, but I
Right.
glanced over it because
It's-
I'm like, oh, okay, 2.0.
it's
I
Great.
remember somebody
universal
else wrote like a couple months ago when March, I think it was,
Mhm.
that USI
Yeah,
2.0
was a thing. It was February,
right.
yeah.
It was announced. It was like, hey, here's the new thing. It's got more levels of pressure. It's got
Right.
I don't what's the deal with it having more color palette? What does that have to do with anything? Unless it's one of the ones that picks colors.
Yeah, I guess
Only for that
for
reason?
that, and then something with it's using NFC. It's not for the wireless charging, but it's using NFC for something else. Maybe
Some sort
I
of
think-
back-end connection.
maybe it
Well, I
was the
think
wi-
the wireless charging is part of the 2.0 spec, so that tells me that like the one that goes with the Dragonfly and the one on the X211 is a 2.0 stylus.
I thought we tried the one on the X2. Oh no, we
have it.
don't have one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 2.0 stylus.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you look up USI 2.0, the Lenovo USI Pen 2, and then the HP, I don't remember what theirs is called,
Yeah.
USI Pen 2 or something, whatever.
that came
the one
with the
that's got
X211.
the one that's got the more Apple Pencil tip to it is certified as a 2.0 stylus. Here's where it gets murky because I reached out to Pete Mueller, who is the chairman for USI, and said, hey, look, can you, like, what's going on here? What's the difference? Are they not backwards compatible? The answer is yes and no. And it's a little unfortunate because it's USI. But from what Pete said, it's just not something that they can. They when they looked at all these different ways that they were going to go about doing this, there was no way to avoid
Yeah.
this if they wanted to move the spec forward.
Yeah. And like he said, the quote that you put in your article he even says, like, we tried for months to try to get this
They
to
wanted
work,
to do it with, it could be completely backwards compatible, but
just couldn't do it.
And some points, like with tech, you just have to move forward and do what you can. So here's the way it works. A USI 2.0 screen will work with most USI 1.0 pens, and USI 2.0 pens will work with 1.0 screens. Like, that stuff all works. The only problem really comes in when you have in-cell or on-cell digitizers. And so in-cell is exactly what it sounds like. It's super technical. It's above my pay grade. But basically, like on our cell phones and stuff, they mush all of the pieces together into one layer, basically. So you get your touch sensor, your digitizer, your screen bits, and everything all in one piece of a panel. Most laptops are on cell, and so that means that the digitizer is actually over top of the screen. And so, if it's an on cell USB 2.0 compliant screen, a 1.0 pen will still work. It won't have all the features that a 2.0 pen does. It's the in cell versus on cell is the problem. And the reason it's just not showing up is that Duet is the first one that has an in-cell digitizer in it. Like, there just aren't any other ones, and that there might not be any more for a while. Like that, and so that's why the HP X2 is not in-cell; it's an on-cell. So we were able to pick up any stylus and work with it, and so it became really strange because it was like it's universal mostly. Like, it's almost all universal still. And so it's unfortunate because it wasn't like he was like, oh, well, that's the only one, and we don't know why they did that. He said, there are going to be some Chromebooks that are going to be coming with in-cell screens. The idea being that, if you can build it as one piece and you can get these things as one piece, the cost goes down. You can make thinner devices with them. All good benefits. Those particular devices, he said they really push manufacturers, A, label it very clearly, and B, make sure you include a stylus. Don't if it's not going to work
type of screen
with all these other styluses, you can't ship it without a stylus.
Because Lenovo's not including theirs, are they?
No. And so USI can't enforce anything, and so they tell them what to do.
They're a
Lenovo's
standard.
like, we'll do whatever we want. I do think Lenovo should have put it clearly on the box. It's nowhere on the outside of the box. There's nothing that would indicate that your USI pen wouldn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it should clearly state works with Lenovo USI pen version 2 or other USI 2.0 because I guarantee you in the next 30 days you will have Amazon sellers selling pens to people, and they're not going to work.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
And I mean, to be completely candid, we had an ad spot that we thought was a perfect fit for that unboxing with Penoval, and we put out the unboxing because obviously it's an unboxing. We unboxed it and we're messing around with it, and then afterwards, once we're actually sitting and using it, that's when we realized that it didn't work. So we had to pull the spot off because we were sitting there confusing. Advertising a Penoval pen, especially the 702, which is again is one of our favorite USI pens that we use on a lot of devices. Right. And we're sitting here advertising that pen on this device where that pen's not going to work. And it was like, gosh,
and despite we never said this is the pen to buy with this device,
but it was people, just a bad bad pairing.
As far as brand integrity and our integrity, yes, people are going to look at that and associate it with the device that you're reviewing. So it's just better for everyone to just
say. I mean, we were confused, and so we obviously wrote this article. Might do another video or something just to try to help consumers understand what's going on, and that's why we're talking about it today. It's just a kind of unfortunate situation. I think it'd be
different if it was some random small device that's not going to sell a bunch. But this is a follow up to one of the most popular Chromebooks ever made. Right. So a little bit of a bummer. And again, a little bit of clarity on the box goes a long way. Or if they would just included a stylus in there. Granted, I think it would have postponed this conversation. Yeah. Because we would have gotten the stylus out and been like, hey, neat. It's fun.
It's not coming with the pen loop. They just sent us that one with the pen loop.
It will come. Yeah. The package will come with the pen loop. That was the other thing. It's like it's coming with a pen loop.
Without the pen. So then people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to grab my USI pen, my 702 and put it in here and use it.
Yeah.
And look at it. Look at that.
It's a good storage place for your pen.
How Lenovo moves forward with it, they might not do anything. They don't have to do anything.
No, sure, but it'd
be nice if they, throw out a sticker or something.
Yeah.
On the box.
Print. We've seen that with
Works with
Chromebook.
Yeah.
We've seen those stickers added to packaging. Just a sticker.
Afterwards.
It's not printed on there.
Yeah.
Add a sticker.
All I do is send them to Best Buy and somebody slaps them on there.
And the other problem is
Need to update this device.
You can't go buy that pen.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
Unavailable still.
Or are there any 2.0 pens? Yeah, because I remember in your article,
the one that works with HP comes with that tablet.
You can't go buy it
separately. They don't sell it right now. So eventually there will be more.
We should,
but like that's just
super and see if they're
super problematic.
Working on one.
I imagine Penoval's making one,
hope
or
so.
hopefully releasing one
so
soon.
That's like alluding to what we were talking about before, though. It's like the Duet 3 is a fantastic device. Like, I really enjoy using it. And I've been using it at my desk now for this week.
Yeah.
Now that we're done with the 513 review, and it would be a great device to do what I was talking about, to have in a setting to where you can just hold it in your lap and be jotting down notes and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a pen I can use with it. Like, I haven't gotten to take notes on it. And ideally, a USB or USI 2.0 pen with that in-cell screen, like,
would be great.
Probably be great.
Yeah.
And
right.
so Lenovo was trying to get us one of the new pens, and I haven't heard anything back on that front either.
And you might have already said this, but what are the advantages? Obviously, I understand the technology of how it's working, but are there advantages to that in-cell technology? Like, why did they put that one in this one versus the other one?
Again,
is it
Lenovo's
manufacturing?
Huge,
is it
so they probably have access to in-cell panels.
Yeah.
So that they wanted to use. For
is it a better panel? Is it better necessarily? Like, I would imagine
closer to the surface.
I was gonna say, if everything is integrated like that and it's right there on the surface, you would think it's probably
thinner, lighter. Yeah,
and it's hopefully more responsive, right?
Right.
Because you're dealing directly with the sensors.
I don't know that you would notice that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking fractions of a millimeter,
right?
Basically here, but in-cell technology is what's used on most mainline Android, iOS tablets and phones. Like the phone you're using, I guarantee, is an in-cell setup. Like all the stuff's in there. On a Galaxy Note, for instance, or I guess it'd be a Galaxy S22 Ultra now. Yeah. That digitizer in there for the pen is in-cell, like, because their phones, obviously they're trying to get it as small and thin and easy to manufacture as possible. And so that's the benefit of those. Why it showed up on this particular Chromebook, it probably was Lenovo had access to manufacture those for this device and multiple other devices. They make other tablets of the same size.
Yeah. So I forgot that Lenovo was part of the USI 2.0 press release. Yeah. So
like that
they're probably like, hey, they're touting us. We should put it on our device. Like,
when they said like Lenovo's latest pen and stuff in the press release, and I'm like, how's that pen not available right now? Like, that's the other problem with all this. It's not like, that's a bummer, but it's a $40 purchase to go with your tablet. It's not the worst thing in the world. You can't even go get it. So if you buy this tablet right now, you can't use a pen.
Yeah, and what I'm getting at here is, like, if there aren't substantial advantages to this in-cell technology on this device, like, why do it? Why cause this issue and all these folks that have 1.0 pens not being able to use them? Why do that? I don't think it's a money grab. Like, I don't think it's them being like, you have to go buy our pen. That doesn't seem like something they would do.
My guess is they had, because like panels like this or panels for phones, when you go get your phone fixed now, it's not like they take apart the glass and then they pull the digitizer out and take the screen. It's one piece. It's manufactured as one thing. Again, Lenovo is the largest laptop manufacturer. Between their Android tablets, their Windows tablets, and their ChromeOS tablets, they make a lot of tablets. And so if at scale it was cheaper for them to do in-cell technology for these USI pens, of course that's what they're going to do. When you start
especially when
about this
they know
scale.
the volume, because the original Duet sold so well that they were probably.
And maybe the plan was to get this thing out the door and be like, hey, we partnered with USI for 2.0 and it's full blown 2.0.
Right.
Look at this pen, and maybe something just happened. But I don't know. Something's. It just stinks because there's just no answer right now for anybody who buys this. If they were like, hey, I bought this to take to class and take notes, like,
sorry, because like it would be a little bit of a different story. I mean, if the pen was available, like that would.
Yeah,
that would.
I mean, if you could, and who knows, because the Duet's not. No, it is available.
Oh, yeah.
yeah
No,
it is. Yeah,
full-blown. You
like
can buy it.
weeks now.
yeah, and we've seen this happen many times. Like the 10E, which is the rugged Duet, the keyboard did not come out until like 4 months later.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing a finger directly at Lenovo. Other manufacturers do it, but we see this a lot where they're like, "Hey, we've got this thing, and there's this thing that goes with it," and oh, don't worry about that. Sometimes they never show up.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah, I think there's a couple things they could put a sticker on it. Once the pen's available, they could sell it in bundles. For instead if the pen's $50, bundle it with it for an additional
The
25
listing,
or 30.
the listing is one thing. You just buy it as a package,
Right,
you know?
or
Yeah.
the sticker on there has a QR code. You click it and it takes you right to Lenovo
Get a
site
discount
to order
if
it.
you- yeah,
something.
Yeah, Acer does that all the time. You can always get on Best Buy and get an Acer Chromebook with a sleeve and a mouse.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a
Right.
bundle
It's just a
that they
bundle.
make. Just
Yeah.
make it.
So
Yeah.
there's multiple ways they can go about fixing it, but until the pin's available, there's
Right.
no ways actually.
So, I mean, the moral of the story for right now, if you are interested in this device, because you've maybe watched our unboxing and you're like, this thing looks great, and
It
for
is
the
great.
most part, it is. It's amazing.
I really do like
But
it.
just know that if you have a pen and you're buying it with that like specific purpose in mind,
Yeah.
or that specific use in mind, you might be waiting for a little bit to
Yeah.
get a pen
Yeah.
that will work.
Yep, yep.
I mean, not
and just-
forever. It'll be this.
Yeah, and just-
it'll be this year, but
Sure. And like I said, I mean, surely Penoval, some of these other manufacturers are probably already working on a 2.0 pen.
I
And
would
Peter
hope.
said there's a lot of them in the works.
Yeah, I actually found, if you look on the
We're
list,
just early right now,
there's
so-
Lenovo, HP, and then there's that one white label maker. I can't. It's
Wall-top.
no, not. It might have been Walter. It's one of the bigger name ones that first came out with USI. They have a 2.0 now, so
Okay.
it's just not available yet.
Yeah.
But you'll see it on Amazon under whatever name.
Yeah.
It's and it's just a bummer that I really hope that. And I guess I don't know. I guess pen makers need a way to say like this is the new version that does better stuff. Right? Like I get that, but like USI felt like it was trying to be that. If you have a USI pen, done, and now it's like it's mostly that. But I guess eventually USI 2.0, everybody will just know like if I want the additional features of this
Or,
pen type, I need that 2.0.
Or just maybe down the road. I know Peter said they were working to try to make it compatible across the board. Maybe they will down the road. Like maybe they'll figure out a way to make the install stuff work.
But for the feature stuff, they won't.
Yeah.
Like the extra features that come with 2.0, like USI 2.0 won't. That they'll never be. You'll never have a 1.0 pen and a 1.0 screen that can do what the 2.0 spec can do.
But yeah.
And so that's what I was saying. Like there's going to be a break in this.
But could
no
it
matter
at
what.
least still just like at a minimum work? Like
For the incel, no.
yeah. Like it won't. There's no dang.
No. It will never work. Or else they would have held off the spec
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and made it work. He said like they tried it. It's just not compatible with the way it had something to do with the timing.
Yeah.
The way the screen puts out. I don't know.
Dang.
Like I said, it's above my pay grade, but he made it pretty clear. Like this
Yeah.
it was unavoidable. Can't work. So
yeah. Just
as more
just know
incel
that.
screens come, like I think the moral of the story is once USI 2.0 pens come out, if your device is spec'd for USI 2.0,
Yeah,
that's what you need to get.
yeah, you need to
And if you have a
get that
2.0 pen, that pen will work on all 1.0 screens.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, as 2.0 pens come out, those are the pens you should go buy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
Unless you know for sure you're never going to buy one that needs it. Like,
Yeah.
you're just better off. It'd be like buying if you had 2 hard drives or 2 thumb drives, and you're like, this one's USB 3.2 and this one's USB 2.0. Will this one work? Sure. Should I buy the 3.2? Absolutely.
So you're telling me there might be a dongle that we can put on our 1.0 pens that'll make them work.
No.
No.
That is not what I said.
There's a big extra. It's actually just a 2.0
another pen. Slides this in it. It's like a long
That's
pen.
perfect.
dongle life.
That's great.
No,
Your pen's this long. You just-
Maybe I should have used a different analogy.
Yeah, that didn't work.
I'm sure all the smart people that are listening
Yeah.
know exactly what I meant.
Yeah, no, that's good analogy. But yeah, just know obviously if you're looking at this device, just kind of know this going in, and hopefully as we get more pens, you'll have plenty of options. But for
Yeah.
right now, that's just not the case. But let's talk about the Duet 3. You've been using it a little bit. You actually used it in kind of a remote work scenario, and got to spend some time with it that way, which I think a lot of people that buy this device might end up using it in that way.
I think so.
It's a nice little small tablet that you could take out and go to the coffee shop, or if you're traveling or in, whatever scenario you might be in where you're out and about. It could be a great device.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty formidable for a lot of people, because it's as performant as the Duet 5, which was proved to be basically enough.
Right.
Did you ever get to use it?
Yeah, I took it home last week.
I mean, I've been using it. I sat and used it for
it's
extended period the other day whenever I went
when
down
you're keeping
a
it
little
to
early.
one screen, especially even if you're using multiple desktops, it's fine. And if you want to pull off a Android game here and there, it's good for those, the ones that'll install. I mean, the same goofy caveats apply.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I used it at the kitchen table a few times, and it was great. But then I was actually able to sit on the couch with my feet up and use it in my lap, which is very unusual for
and the Duet 5 is it's unique in that way because it's wide.
Right.
The Duet 3 still has the same. It's just thin.
It's too small.
For someone of our size, it just feels strange to hold a little tablet in the middle of your lap.
Yeah.
But as long as you can find a tabletop, the Duet 3 is fantastic. And the 11-inch screen on it was good enough. It's not something I want to work on every day, all day.
Right.
No tablet is, I don't think, unless you get into a 13-inch tablet, and then it's
it's a laptop.
yeah, now you've kind of lost. And it's the same thing with the Duet 5. It's a tablet kind of when you need it, but
I have tried multiple times now to use it in tablet mode, for an extended period in the mornings, and I have not.
You'll love the Duet 3 for that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think for what little keyboard time you'll need, the keyboard on the Duet 3 is awesome.
Yeah.
It is really, really good. The Duet 5 I think it's okay. The Duet 3's keyframe is fantastic, and the trackpad's really good. And so that, but as long as you're at a table, the experience of using it is really good. And I've even gone to I bought a new monitor. And I'm selling my big, huge satellite curve thing, basically because I want to be able to test devices when they come in. And almost all ChromeOS devices now can push a QHD screen, whereas mine, to most Chromebooks, look more like a 4K screen.
Yeah.
And so there'd be problems sometimes. The Duet 3, I couldn't test on my desk, really, using my monitor. I'm not going to be able to put it through my normal paces. But now that I've got a QHD screen up there instead, I could do that, and that's what I've been doing. I've got it, I take it home with me in the evenings, and when I get here, I put my little tablet down and hook it into the dock, and that's what I've been working on. And, it exhibits a bit of lag from time to time when I've got everything going.
Yeah.
I've got right off the
all
top
your
of my
desks
head,
running,
7-8 tabs with who knows what going on in those things. Trello down on the second screen. Shift edit because I was doing a couple little tweaks to the website. In the second screen, I've got Google Messages, Discord, and WhatsApp open. And the third one, I've got usually Squoosh and Grab It Designer open. And then the fourth screen, or fourth desk, I've got usually YouTube Music, and then Google Analytics running real time. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on all at once, and it handles that fine. But once I start piling, if I get into a sidebar and start opening some other stuff on top, there was some pretty significant lag yesterday doing that.
Yeah.
But again,
That's a lot, though, for a device.
I mean, for a little ARM-powered device.
Yeah, I mean, do that on the old Duet.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, not possible.
Not possible.
Just
So
not even possible,
I'm getting by working on this thing completely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've been sorely disappointed by a lot of ARM devices, and then there were some that were just man, it's good, it's
So
okay.
close.
The
So close.
the X2 was good, but not quite there.
Yeah.
We've achieved it once they release the 8 gig version. If they release one here in the U.S.,
that'll help.
the 8 gig memory on this device, it's going to be great. I mean,
Hey,
it will. I will buy one, and it will. Anytime I go anywhere, that's what I will have with me.
Because I want to go back to, once I'm done with the review period, probably after another week or so with this, I'm going to let you drive that for a little bit, because I think it's going to be a good fit for what you've been looking for.
To try it.
I want to actually try to work from the Duet 5, because I never did that fully, even when I was reviewing it.
The monitor issue.
I could never output. So it's obviously same processor, same ability to do all that stuff, but it's got 8 gigs of RAM, and I think it'll perform just a little bit better. And so I think that to me is going to be a setup for an interesting video to be able to talk about. Now we did a video way back talking about 2 versus 4, like, because if you remember, like, Chromebooks used to come out with 2 gigs of RAM, which is just so hideous to even say. And so now, you know, 4 gigs is kind of the basement. And not that I'm saying I think every device needs to come with 8. I just think most of them need to have an option.
Yeah, it is kind of the sweet spot. If you have it's weird because if you have a core processor, then you kind of want 8 gigs of RAM because they go well together. But a core processor will make up that lost RAM if you only have 4 gigs of RAM.
Right, it just like grunts through it.
Yeah, but Chrome's not nearly as power hungry as it used to be. But 8 gigs with a mid-tier processor is just, you know, you get into those Pentium Silvers and the Celerons with 8 gigs of RAM and the ARMs. There's not much it won't do. There's really not.
And granted, this processor is nothing compared to the 1380 and the 513 review. That one's, we haven't put that out yet, have we? No. But as I said in the beginning, it's glowing because that processor is great. It's just great. I didn't any of these caveats I'm throwing out, like, I got too many desks open. Like, none of those things were an issue. But
just so awesome.
But it also chewed through battery more like a Intel processor would, which, and I'm not saying Intels are terrible at battery, but it was like a 10-hour use of battery, which is great. Like, that's your whole day. No big deal. I never had at one time think like, ooh, I better make sure I stay plugged in. Like, it's going to power you through a full day every time, no matter what. But these little tablets are like, especially the Duet 5, like, it's got a big battery and that same processor as the Duet 3. Duet 3 is more like 10 to 12 hour. The Duet 5 is like 14, 15 hours. It's like ridiculous battery life. And then the Companion 828 chip is the same way. But they're kind of on the same playing field. Like, usable, fine. It works just like it expected to. Yeah. They're just not, performance-wise, the gap between that and the 1380 is wildly large. But it's just a good device. I don't want to give away too much more. But the fact that I've been able to plug it in and use it at my desk and have my peripherals just sitting there and my little tablet's just there into the screen, it's been really cool. And it's like that dream of, we're so close to having a tablet where it's a usable size. I still think, I really do, I think something like the Pixel Slate, that size of screen strikes the right balance. Like, to me, I wouldn't want to be stuck out and about for a few days with just the Duet. I actually have a 15-inch USB-C monitor in there just in case I was somewhere and I got to get work done. I'm going to have to sit here for like 3 or 4 hours. I would want to put a screen next to it versus a 12.3-inch, like 3x2 screen is that perfect balance of like holdable. The Slate was too heavy, and the rounded corners made it hard to hold in one hand. But that screen size, I mean, what's the HP 11 is 11 point. It's just 11 inches,
straight 11,
but it's 3x2.
Yeah,
and that helps. Like the 11-inch Duet, the Duet 3 is 11-inch, but it's 16x10, so it's a little smaller. But I still think that 12-inch 3x2 screen is like sweet spot. And then if we can get that with the MediaTek 1380, or we know the Snapdragon
and 8 Gen
7C Gen 3 is coming. 7C Plus Gen 3.
Yeah,
there's a plus in there somewhere.
7C Gen 3 Plus, I think.
That's
X,
something.
Or whatever.
Max.
YZ.
Pro.
X Max.
Pro.
My guess, I have no idea, but my guess is based on the cores and stuff in it, it's going to sit somewhere between the 828 and the 1380. I don't think it's going to go up. It's not going to like all of a sudden be up there. We also know that they're messing around at least with an 8CX on a Chromebook.
That's the thing, though. You think about an 8C with 8 gigs of RAM and plenty of storage. Doesn't even have a ton of storage, but like 128 gigs, and it's light and thin. And you have a dock on your desk, and it's a 12.3-inch device. That's it. That is, you walk in, you dock, you're there, and then it is the perfect on-the-go device.
They do that, and then eventually we have a Tensor Power, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Some sort of Tensor desktop,
Tensor Gen 3
detachable. But it's getting the right size tablet that's kind of the jack of all trades is tough. It's just hard.
It is,
because you're either going to get large enough to where it's like, great, this is great in laptop mode, and like you said with the Duet 5, not so great handheld, or it's the other way around. And it's just tough to find that like medium ground. I think a
You
3x2 screen
just
is right.
need the it's like
Yeah.
nine.
foldable.
It's like
5.
it's 9-inch this way, and
Yeah.
then whatever this opens up.
Big
to.
square.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like about 14-inch. Yeah,
Hey, I mean, one day.
why not?
That's
One day.
that'll be the answer for all of it.
Absolutely.
Once they get thin enough, and folding a laptop that opens up that way, and
Yeah, because I don't think it's ever going to work with phones. Like you tried it's just
It's
the
fine.
dimensions, and then your screen's never going to be big enough. But a tablet into a laptop, that works.
because like what's the Lenovo one that they
I just saw one. That's the
Oh, man, I
X1
Carbon or
Carbon
something.
X1. Yeah,
But the idea behind that is the only issue I see right now with that, even if you got a nice thin form factor, you open it up, you've got a digital keyboard down here, but they've got the little magnetic keyboard that pops up on there. Well, where does that thing go whenever it's closed?
right.
So that becomes a little bit of a weird. But I mean, tablets anyway have the kickstands and crap on them, so you're used to carrying around something. But the benefit there is you pop that off there, open it all the way up, and it's like a 15-inch screen with your peripherals, like it's a usable thing, or it's a small laptop. You know, like I could see that being a really cool form factor too.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, somewhere around 12 inches, 3x2 screen
Yeah.
with just one little bit more of a processor in it. Like it,
Yep.
you know, the whatever the Gen 3 Snapdragon Tensor, or you know, we have 0 leads on a 1380 powered tablet at this point, unfortunately. There's a couple other Chromebooks coming with it, I think, but that processor would be all you want. I mean, that I would want for nothing else as far as performance in it.
Is it maybe a like a battery consideration with the 1380 not going in tablets?
Probably, because you would need a good sized battery to make it not feel like it's
Just
dying off on
pull
you.
it. Yeah.
And
Like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like something that kind of comes down. That's what Snapdragon 7C
Yep.
plus 3 Gen whatever, the third 7C that's coming.
Is there- is
they've
there a-
obviously figured that stuff out.
is there a Companion series in between what?
The 828 is
Yeah.
the middle one, and it's
That's right. 'Cause
basically
the 500, 800, and then
yeah. And the 828 is
1000
right on par with the 7C Gen 2.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
to say it's great. Like it's
Sure.
it's fine for what it is. Like, but if
But
it's
having
going to
a
be your
little bit
daily
more-
driver,
yeah, a little
for-
bit more horsepower.
Yeah. For a lot of people, I think you just
Yeah.
we're at an 8. We needed it at 10. You
Yeah.
know, like so close, and it's so fun to be actually getting to the point where we're getting devices with. You know, if I make some considerations, yes, I'm able to work from this device. Like, it's not like I can't work from it. Like, the Duet 3 can't. I mean, it wouldn't even put out to a regular 1080p display.
The original
So,
Duet.
Original,
yeah.
yeah.
Not
Or,
the
I'm sorry, the original
Yeah.
Chromebook Duet.
Yeah.
It was just not workable. And so, the fact that we're next generation, we're
Yeah.
like, that we're pretty darn close
Yeah.
to, like, optimal here.
Yeah.
It's not like, because I think we're hitting peak Chromebook. I really do feel like, I don't know if I can say that or not. I feel like when the Dragonfly shows up, like the production model Dragonfly Chromebook, we're getting close to like peak Chromebook. I really
It has
do.
it
Like,
has all of the bells and whistles that you would
Yeah.
want in a laptop.
It's just going to be like, I don't know what else to say. There's nothing bad to say about this Chromebook. It's what you want, and
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs to make something more like this. You know, and you've got devices. Again, we haven't released our review yet, and we'll talk about it more next week. But the 513,
yeah.
you know, is so good. Like that 1380 is so good, and it's got that great
And at
screen
a-
that Acer's had, and
a
it's
good
got a
price,
backlit
too.
keyboard and a great trackpad, and it's super slim, and it's under 3 pounds, and yeah, it's $600, and it's like, what else?
Yeah.
Like, put a fingerprint scanner and maybe a
Yeah.
stowed stylus. You know, like we're talking little caveats
Yeah,
and
right.
stuff. So the next place for there to be, like, I think really substantial growth is figuring out the tablet detachable space, and to where we can have a tablet style device that becomes a daily driver device. Like, it's something you can use. Like, there's no caveats. There's no, well, I mean, it's pretty good at this. I mean, I think we could start nailing down some detachables that
Yeah.
that get it, that nail it, and
Yeah.
they're going to need to, because you know, Apple's clearly continuing to move forward with the iPad. So buy a big iPad, and it's more and more like a Mac, and more like a desktop, and it's got an extended display
was-
now, and it's windowed. And
What
all
was
that
the
stuff. Like,
campaign they recently did? It was like basically, I forget their little slogan they had, but it was like a new way of computing or
Oh,
something.
What's a computer?
Yeah, what's a
The little
computer?
girl,
Yeah.
What's a computer? You know,
Yeah.
and it's true. Other than price, like, you know, if the iPad was a very affordable device,
Yeah.
man, Chromebooks would start. I would start worrying for where they're going to go. It's different. I mean, obviously, but
Have you ever tried working from your iPad for an extended period?
No, not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
but I could see, like, with this new update, it working for more people than it did,
Yeah.
you know, before. And so,
I know.
you know, I just think they need to realize that people are going to see that, and even if you're not going to go buy an iPad. When you see more and more people working from a tablet and realizing that, hey, I can work from this, and then you pop it off the stand and play a game on it. Like, you know, Andrew plays Apex Legends with us on his iPad every day. Like, that's going to be something people want more and more of. And as they get things better and better with the Play Store on Chromebooks, like, people are going to want detachables to play games on and stuff, you know, and to be able to do leisure and work stuff on. You know, they're very cool devices. It's just one of those things people are going to want.
Do you think Google will retract their previous statement and maybe get
On
back
the tablets?
in?
Well, yeah,
get back into tablets.
They're making a Pixel tablet. They already announced it.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying a ChromeOS one.
Oh, well, they just said tablets. They said we're not making tablets anymore. So
I didn't realize
they've
it was a
already
broad
recanted.
tablet statement.
that's-
Perfect.
They've already
Good job.
backed up on that. So
Yeah. But as far as a ChromeOS one, I mean, especially for Tensor, dude,
I'd
it
be
would make
super
so
happy
much sense.
if they just made a super thin, light, you know, maybe
ARM.
aluminum, maybe white on the top and silver on the bottom. You know, with a 12.3 inch screen. And
Okay.
A really cool gray on white and silver
MacBook?
aesthetic. No, I'm thinking it sounds more like
Air.
Pixel Book.
Pixel Book. I like that.
Yeah, something
like
like
that.
that,
Pixel
like
Book
that
Go.
with
So
Tensor
you would-
inside.
you
I
would-
would be fine with that.
You'd rather have that than a dope tablet?
Yeah.
If it's super thin in the way that they made the Pixel Book,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
it's just fine because when I fold it back and it lays perfectly flat on itself,
It's a tablet.
it does all the tablet-y things I needed to do, and it's so beautiful. So I don't care if they make and I've written an article about this. Like, someone needs to, if they're not going to make another Pixel Book, somebody needs to go full-blown. We're going to make, because the Pixel Book clearly was made and built to be converted. Like, it wasn't like, that's the thing you can do with it if you want to.
Yeah.
Like, it was built, like, the lines lined up
That was
perfectly when you
perfect, yeah.
closed it, and it looks like almost like a tablet. Like, yeah, do that. If you're going to do that, great. No, you don't need to build a tablet. But if it's a laptop that can fold back on itself as a thing that you might do, then no, make a tablet.
Yeah.
But if you're going to build something that's awesome and purpose built to be converted, you don't have to make a tablet if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Put Tensor in it and make it awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Make the Pixel Book, just make it even thinner.
Exactly.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, one day maybe.
Oh,
We're gonna keep.
If they're not making another Pixel Book, like,
We're not gonna hold our breath because
I-
if we did, we'd be dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad. But they only make Pixel Books when it's time to do
when
something
it's,
new.
Hey,
Yep.
Tensor
time to-
something new.
time to create that lighthouse device, and that could be a lighthouse device for sure.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, folks, I think that's it for this week. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to go down there and give us a thumbs up if you like this. Click subscribe. Mainly click subscribe,
Yeah,
because we're trying to get to 10,000. We're going to give away some stuff.
and click that bell.
Yeah, and click the bell. The bell gives you a little notification when we publish
Yep.
episodes. So
It helps us undo the algorithm.
exactly, just that little extra
Fight.
help.
Fight
a
the
little
land.
extra help. If you like what we do, just give us that little extra nudge. All right, that's it. We'll catch you guys next week. See ya.